My name is Jessica Lakin. I am the provost of Drew University, and it is my privilege and my distinct honor to welcome you today to Drew and to this opening of school ceremony. Despite the change in the plans for the fall, which we know also affected your plans for the fall, we are so very happy and enthusiastic about having a group of committed and engaged students be our newest community members. You have made good decisions about joining our community, and we know that you have engaged and excited parents and supportive others behind you as you begin this important step in your professional development. You have been connecting with others over the course of the summer, both students and faculty members. That has been a part of your orientation activities as you've been scheduling your courses, as you have been thinking about your plans for the fall and your 4 years at Drew. I've been watching from behind the scenes as these friendships have developed, as you have chosen your courses, as you have been in conversations with your academic advisors, and that you have been making these really important connections that are going to put you at a good stead to start your fall semester and your time at Drew. This is only the beginning of those great days ahead. You guys are going to have a great fall, and we can't wait to welcome you to the beautiful campus as soon as we can do so safely. It's also my honor to introduce another new member of our community, President Thomas Schwartz, who joined us earlier in August as the next president of Drew University. President Schwartz is coming from a very long and distinguished career as a president at Purchase College, where he retired in 2019, and at that point was appointed the President Emeritus in recognition of his 17 years of distinguished service. He has a number of accomplishments in that regard, and we are very happy to be introducing him to the Drew community today as well as your chance to hear from our newest member of the community. So President Schwartz, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Jessica, and welcome to all of you who have chosen Drew as your future. And let me tell you, from my experience, you've chosen well. When I was choosing to look at the opportunities that were presented to me after I retired from Purchase, Drew, frankly, was the first opportunity that I had seen that I felt was a committed liberal arts institution doing a great job educating its students. And I know you had many opportunities, and I appreciate your coming here, and we will look forward to working with you. Normally, I would tell you that my office, I have open office hours, that I invite you to come to my office whenever those hours are. But now we're going to do it differently. I'll have different kind of office open hours where you'll be able to contact me within clear times, and we can either Zoom together or some other kind of together. But I think what you've chosen here is an institution whose heart is in the academics and in immersive experiences. And I know the launch program will be very important to you as it prepares you for life after. But I have one thing that I always say to students, and that is this. There are many bumps along the road. Sometimes there are issues elsewhere, family or friends. Sometimes they're financial. There are people here that you should speak to. And do not be shy. If there are problems that you have, go talk to somebody. It could be your advisor, it could be a counselor. If you want to talk to somebody, if you want to talk to me, come talk to me. We never want to see a student who doesn't complete his or her education because of these issues, and the issues could be, from soup to nuts, and often they are financial. So reach out to people, don't be shy, and you'll get the help that you need. And that's all I'm going to say today, but I look forward to the day when we can shake hands or bump elbows or whatever it is on this campus, which is in fact a beautiful campus. So thank you.
Thank you, President Schwartz. It is now my honor to introduce to you Dean Ryan Hinrichs of the college and the Casperson School, and he will also share some opening remarks.
Thank you, Jessica, and good afternoon, everyone. As Jessica said, my name is Ryan Hinrichs, and I am proud to serve as the Dean of the College at Drew University. We are gathered for the opening of school ceremony, which is an important milestone in each of your journeys. And although the current pandemic may have altered how this and other events take place, it does not diminish the importance of these events. We are living in unprecedented and truly historic times, but this opening of school ceremony, it really marks a historic moment in your personal journey and in the history of your family. In fact, I'm delighted that many of your family members may even be able to join us today, an opportunity unique to this virtual structure, which we should appreciate. And it's important that you thank everyone who has helped you achieve this moment. Perhaps some of them are with you right now. So thank your parents and grandparents, guardians, siblings, friends, coaches, perhaps second cousins once removed, you never know. I'm sure many of you are filled with eagerness and anticipation, and no doubt maybe a bit of nervousness and anxiety. These feelings are perfectly normal as you are about to embark on a new chapter of your life. Although we should also acknowledge that the uncertainty of our current times can often exacerbate the intensities of these feelings. Uncertainty. For most, this word means that the future outcome is completely unknown. However, as a professor of chemistry whose research is on atmospheric processes, including air quality and climate change, I tend to prefer the scientific or statistical use of the word uncertainty. In this case, it's not that the outcome is completely unknown, but rather there is a range of probable outcomes, which means we actually have some level of certainty and confidence. So I want you to flip your thinking about uncertainty as we embark on your Drew experience, because I am confident of a few things. I am confident that you will all grow and then transform in incredible and positive ways while at Drew. Yes, you may hit setbacks. You may decide to change your major along the way, but perhaps you'll also discover a passion you never knew about. And most importantly, 4 years from now, I am confident that you will be able to answer some core questions of value, like what matters to me and how can I best contribute to making the world a better place? And you will also have the skills to act upon these core values. I am confident this is true because I know the mentors and teachers that you will meet at Drew. They will include new friends and RAs, coaches and supervisors, and they will include the dedicated and exceptional Drew faculty, because forming strong student-faculty relationships is central to the Drew experience. And to prove my point, it is my great pleasure to introduce the 2020 College of Liberal Arts Teacher of the Year, Dr. Breanne Barker. She is an associate professor of biology, but more important in these unprecedented times, she's our resident expert on all things virology and immunology. She actively engages Drew students, many of whom who sat in the same seats you are 1 or 2 or 3 years ago. She engages them in her research lab to understand innate immune responses to viral infection, particularly in response to HIV and other retroviruses. And if you don't have the pleasure of taking one of her classes or working in her lab, you can always listen to her on her podcast, This Week in Virology. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Breanne Barker to give this year's keynote address.
Thank you very much for that. Hi, class of 2020. Welcome to Drew and congratulations. I'm so happy that you're here. In putting together my remarks for today, I thought a lot about the college version of me, or the starting college version of me, what she thought her life would look like and how that compares to where I am now. If you were to look at my CV, it sounds kind of fancy. And there's some sort of nice linear story that led me to being here today. In reality, it was anything but linear. It really didn't feel like it. And that list doesn't mention all of the things that I applied for and was rejected from, the times I tried and failed, the classes where I earned some bad grades, the times I doubted myself, or just the times I was a normal person that wasn't all of that fancy. And in many ways, I've gained as much from all of that and I'm here today in front of you because of all of that stuff as all of the fancy sounding stuff. During some parts of my first semester at college, even with all the successes I'd had in high school, I often felt uncertain and wasn't sure if I belonged. Frankly, the beginning of college wasn't the only time in my life I felt that way. Having started things a lot of times, I can tell you from experience that the first year of everything is exciting and wonderful and hard. I point this out because if you haven't noticed, 2020 is kind of hard. And this experience might not be exactly what you've always been imagining. But it turns out that I've learned the most from things in my life that were hard. And so you shouldn't look at this as a letdown. You should instead look at this as an incredible opportunity to learn. You're embarking on an adventure unlike any other, and we're all going to be learning together this year. Remember that because things are new, you don't always have to let your past idea of this person you're going to be dictate your future. Past me would be kind of surprised by some of the things that current me does. In fact, past me would have said, no, I will absolutely never give a speech in front of lots of people, nor will I ever do a podcast once a week to try to actually tell people about science. That's very scary. So you should embrace both how scary and how exciting this moment in your life is. There are a lot of unknowns, but this is a time where you can really contemplate what you enjoy intellectually, where you can experiment with different career identities, learn about yourself and what's meaningful to you, and to think about what you want to contribute. So in your mind, at least, I'm kind of old. I was born in the 70s. The time I lived in the 70s was like some of the most fun 2 weeks of my life. And the reason why I mention that to you is to tell you something else about that first year of college me. The first time I ever used the internet was at freshman orientation. I don't remember if it was before or after my convocation, but they taught us how to use this new thing called our email at orientation. And that was the first time I'd ever used the internet. So as you can imagine, my life now is nothing like I imagined in high school because of that. And if you go online now, you can find lots of hot takes about people my age being a special micro generation with regard to technology. We're supposed to be this great group of people who had both a non-tech life and a tech life. And who can do both and bridge this gap between people who have different types of experiences. We were young enough to learn new things and adapt, but we're not totally beholden to things. It's really just, a lovely piece of perspective. And I mention that because I can imagine something really similar might happen to you in thinking about all of the changes that we're currently seeing in society. I think that you are really going to help us reinvent what college means by helping us understand what works and what doesn't work this year. And you are going to be the leaders of understanding what a new college education looks like. You are going to be the connectors and some of the most experienced people in this new way of working at things. Studies have shown that students who tend to do well with online learning tend to be particularly self-motivated, able to organize their learning, and good at advocating for themselves. So you should recognize this unique situation and really try to hone those skills. I can't tell you how much I wish I had prioritized those skills when I was 18. And I'm sort of amazed at the idea of a group of people who are specifically trying to work on those skills. So even if it's hard, it's going to be worth it. So this brings me to a specific thing I want to tell you today. Just because something is hard or a struggle, it doesn't mean it's bad or wrong for you. Failure or things not coming easily means that you're challenging yourself and you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And that should be happening some portion of the time. That's where growth comes from, and it makes you stronger and better. I was kind of intimidated when I started thinking about what to say to you all today. And so I did exactly what I do in many other times when I'm really intimidated, which is that I talk to my friends. And I asked all of them what to say. They all happily gave me some words of advice, and I'm really sad because by the end I had 5 pages of amazing bullet points, and I definitely couldn't fit them all in today. But what I would point out is that basically anything good that I say today came from them. But also that none of those friends are professional speechwriters, but they are all people with experience that's different from mine and perspectives that are really important and things to say. And so it really reminded me how important it is to be a part of a community of great people, to value perspectives of others, and to ask for help when you need it. Asking for help is really important. Asking for help doesn't make you weak or a failure. Everyone needs help, and strong, smart people ask for it. Happily, you've already kind of started taking this advice without even knowing it because you've joined the community at Drew, which is really a community and a place where professors, classmates, staff members, and all members of the community are here for you and are ready to support you and help you with things. In college, it's not just about showing up to classes and listening. It's about taking charge of your education and getting the most out of the time you're here. And the benefit of being part of a diverse community is that you have many perspectives to learn from and help you grow. And the final thing that I was thinking about when I was thinking about my starting college self is what I might want to say to her. And if I was going to say something to her, one of the many things I would say is, good job on choosing a school that really emphasized the liberal arts and a liberal arts education. That's going to really help you in your life. My first year self, if she were here, she would shake her head very knowingly, even though she had no idea why that liberal arts education was important or how that was going to really help her in her life. But the key to that liberal arts education is that it allows you to think critically and curiously and to learn about things from different perspectives. I kind of think about it as cross-training for your brain. There are some problems in the world right now. And one of the reasons why those problems exist is because no one knows how to solve them. Perhaps that's because nobody has the right combination of skills or knowledge that you need for that solution. And so maybe the unique combination of interests and skills and knowledge that you design as part of your diverse liberal arts curriculum may be exactly what we need. At this time, every discipline has something to contribute. And all of this reminds me of a conversation I had with my advisor in graduate school. I went into his office with a list of jobs that I wanted to apply for when I finished graduate school to help me get some experience for eventually becoming a professor. And he took one look at my list and he said the entire thing was wrong and I needed to try again. And he said that if I took one of the jobs on that list, I would be learning more about how to do the same things I've been learning in my PhD. And the same things that my mentor studied, and I'd basically be setting myself up to become a mini version of him. And he looked at me and he said, no, if you take one of those jobs, you will be training to be Norm the Second. The world doesn't need Norm the Second. The world needs Bree the First. I think about that advice a lot. And so that very unique set of experience and knowledge that I got in my very nonlinear path has allowed me to become me the first and the person that I am and make my unique contributions. With all the difficulties that are out there now, the world really needs you the first badly. And your Drew experiences and all of the unique things that you're going to get to do as part of the liberal arts will help you get there. Right now, we're at a turning point and are currently taking stock of our priorities and maybe questioning the status quo. As incoming freshmen, you're at basically a very similar pivotal point of your lives. And so I hope that you can think broadly about how to be you the first. You can work together, not be afraid to fail, and be really successful in this exciting and scary time. I'm really excited to see all that you can do. And good luck on your first year. So our next speaker is Mehak Agarwal, who is the president of student government, as well as one of my students this spring and a wonderful student.
Hi, thank you so much, Dr. Barker, for that incredible and inspiring speech and for introducing me. Good afternoon to everyone here and to all my new peers. I feel so honored to be here, welcoming you to our Drew family today. As Dr. Barker mentioned, my name is Mehak Agarwal, and I'm a biology and studio art double major. I'm 19 years old, and I belong to the class of 2022. So I remember being in your shoes not too long ago. I'm also an international student speaking to you all the way from India, my home country, where it is currently 10:50 p.m. I find that when I tell people I'm an international student, they wonder what possibly brought a girl all the way from India to Drew. There are many reasons why I chose to go to the institution just like you. The beautiful campus, the research opportunities, the proximity to New York City, most of which we will need to wait till we're on campus again to enjoy. But most of all, I chose Drew for its small and close-knit community. And I'll say that word again because it's so, so important at this time. Community. In this time of social isolation, it is so important for us to look after ourselves and each other. University is meant to be a transformative experience, and it still can be if you choose to make it so. But we can't afford to lose ourselves or our energy due to this pandemic. You truly have the power to design your experience here. So take advantage of the resources being shared with you. Be proactive in meeting people. It can seem restrictive, I know, trying to make friends over Zoom calls, but you know what? Our generation has completely nailed social media, and this is nothing but an extension of that. In fact, I'll even help you out. To everybody who's able to use the chat feature and wants to connect with their class, drop your social media handles in the chat right now. Follow each other, make the effort to connect and get to know each other. And don't forget us upperclassmen, we want to know you too. The friends you make here are going to be a big influence on your personal growth. Make sure that while you're at Drew, you connect with faculty too. At Drew, professors, like Dr. Barker, care enough and make the time to get to know you and to cater to your individual needs. This is really valuable, and you can't find it at all universities. Don't be shy to go to office hours, to ask for advice, or to let them know of your unique situation. Believe me, they truly care. Be sure to participate. The staff here is working so hard to make virtual experience as close to an in-person campus life as possible. Attend those Zoom events, no matter how corny they sound to you. That's where you'll get a chance to meet diverse groups of people. Let's learn from each other's stories. Make a willful effort to meet people who come from different backgrounds than yourself and understand them. Especially in this moment that demands for us to re-envision the meanings of equality and inclusion, as well as to pay attention to our mental health, it is paramount for us to listen with empathy and live with kindness. That is how communities are strengthened. One final word of advice that I have learned from being an international student and an only child is that the freedom we associate with college, with going to college, can also be stressful. The COVID-19 pandemic has taken so much from us, but it may also have given us an opportunity. Take this time wherever you are to not only connect with your new Drew family, but also with your family at home or with yourself. Most of us don't realize the value and comforts of home, culture, and family until we leave. And it is very difficult to strengthen your relationship with these aspects of your life after you've left home, because you may never get to fully return home except to pay a short visit. And with that, I want to say thank you so much for listening. I really, really look forward to meeting all of you and following your journeys at Drew and beyond. I wish you the best experience, and I hope to support you as student government president, as a colleague, and perhaps a friend.
Thank you so much, Mahek, for that wonderful speech. I'm going to introduce myself now. I am Jordan Smith, and I am one of the student coordinators for the orientation committee at Drew. In a moment, you'll get to meet my co-coordinator, Althessa. And as student coordinators, we have had the pleasure of leading Drew's orientation committee made up of about 40 student volunteers that most of you connected with this summer through our virtual orientation program. Although we are disappointed that we did not get to meet you in person this year and move many of you into your residence halls, we are grateful for the opportunity we had to connect with you this summer during virtual orientation. But the safest thing we can all do right now is stay home and continue or start our education from home. We are proud of all of you for the virtual work you're about to do and wish each of you the best of luck. And with that, Althessa would like to announce your class flag icon winner.
Thank you, Jordan. So many of you had taken the time to vote for the class of 2024 flag icon. And while there were so many choices, it came down to one that outshined all of the flags. But I also know you're wondering what the runner-ups were. So in third place, we have the Ark. In second is the Torch. And coming in hot at number 1, we have the Shield. I hope you guys are happy with the results, and on behalf of the orientation committee, we are very excited for your journey at Drew University to officially start, and we look forward to hopefully having some of you join the orientation team.
And thank you, Jordan and Althesa. My name is Frank Marks, and I serve as the Vice President of Campus Life and Student Affairs. Earlier in this orientation process, I was able to welcome you to Drew as you began your orientation online. And I'm so excited to celebrate this opening of school with you, again, online. But since the beginning of the COVID pandemic, some may say that your lives have been disrupted. And yes, there are some milestones that look different for you than what they might have been in the past. Yeah, in all this difference, you learned what is most valuable, what emanates from your core, a strength some of you may not have known existed. You have overcome challenges that rarely happen in our history, and while your plans may have been altered, your pursuit of your dreams remains strong. I have spoken to you before of one of Drew's esteemed graduates, the Reverend Dr. William Barber, who spoke to us in April regarding the importance of using isolation as a time to build community. He said that through solitude, we were able to focus on the important values of our community and work together to address and confront those things that need to be changed. The community that you are entering is one that is doing just that. We are working to make our communities stronger. Today, you have heard and seen what makes Drew such an incredible place. Administrators who recognize that our student experience is essential to Drew's community. Faculty who are at the forefront of industry expertise, who dedicate their lives to connecting with their students so that you can develop and build foundations for lifelong learning and exploration. You have heard and seen the power of student leadership and activism to make Drew a place where all are welcome to study and learn and build their experiences outside the classroom that benefit their campus, their career, and their lives. Your student leaders are incredible role models of how to immerse yourself in what Drew has to offer. The connections that you make with your peers have already begun in this orientation process and will continue as you engage in events, clubs, and organizations. If you allow yourself, you will learn so much from each other. Finally, as you begin this journey, a reminder that you are never alone, and many are here to assist you, whether it is your faculty, our staff, our orientation committee, lovingly known as the Mighty OC. This is my 22nd fall here at Drew. I know you're thinking child prodigy, but sadly no. But during those 22 years, I've borne witness to the incredible and life-changing impact that a Drew education has created in thousands of students' lives. You will soon meet many of those alumni as you connect into our rich network and your launch experiences. I think all those students who came before you would say that your college experience is what you make of it, and the connections that you create will be with you for life. In ceremonies past, this would now be a time where I would invite our students to say goodbye to their family and friends. Just as what we would be seeing on campus, some of your parents at home might be shedding a tear. For some, this may be a tear of recognizing transition, some of pride, other times a tear of sadness, and for some a tear of celebration. But this year, the majority of you will get the privilege of staying a little bit longer with your family before you will be able to reside on campus. Cherish this as an unexpected gift of time. Your disappointment of not being on campus may be the answered prayer to a family member who needs your help a little longer, or a younger sibling who is not quite ready to have you go, or a friend who needed you close by. Later in life, you will look back on these times. I hope that you'll be grateful for this bifurcated life, with one foot at home and one foot on campus. You will always remember this moment when your life felt slightly disrupted, but you chose to continue walking towards your dreams. Class of 2024, welcome to Drew. We are so thankful that you chose us to continue your education. This concludes our program.